These are the three major strengths of the American empire. Right? Technology is just what you see every day, right? The satellites that are able to precision target these airplanes that are the greatest war machines in the world. Okay, so America is home to the greatest scientists, the most advanced weaponry. Okay, that's just technology. Propaganda means that America controls information space. It controls the internet. It controls the world's most powerful media, including the New York Times, CNN, BBC. It controls YouTube. It controls Google. It controls information landscape. America does not want you to know something. It can hide it from you. America can control the discourse. It can control how you think about the world. That's propaganda. The last thing is money. Okay? And it's a very simple idea. The United States controls the US dollar, which is the reserve currency of the world. And the United States can print as much US dollars as it needs in order to win this war. It has an infinite money printer. Okay? And then it can use this money to bribe people to fight this war, right? It can pay for mercenaries. It can bribe ethnic minorities to rebel against the government in Iran. It can bribe Iranian officials to betray the government, okay? So, looking at these three things, you would think that America is invincible, right? But again, we need to think about the law of asymmetry and recognize that these advantages are also disadvantages, all right? So, let's discuss this. Technology. Well, you know, if you have the most advanced weaponry in the world, you become lazy, arrogant, and dependent on the technology, right? So the classic example, of course, is our school, where you have access to ChatGPT, right? And like, you become smarter because you have access to ChatGPT? No, you become dumber because you become lazy, right? Same thing with technology. You would think that with the most advanced weaponry in the world, America would become invincible, but instead, the American military becomes too dependent on the technology. It becomes too arrogant, too complacent. Okay, it's like, well, you know, if we get into trouble, then we'll just send in the Air Force and blow everything up, okay? So it leads to dependency. And this actually hampers innovation and resilience in a battlefield. And this is what you need to win, okay? You need to be innovative and you need to be resilient on the battlefield, but because of technology, you become too lazy to think for yourself. All right? So that's one problem. Propaganda. You would think that, oh, America can control the debate, therefore, that's a huge advantage. It's actually not an advantage, guys. The reason why is that in order for innovation and resilience to happen, you need to have open debate, right? You need people to voice dissenting opinions. But if you control the information landscape, what you can do is censor. And that's what America's doing right now. It's telling people to shut up and obey. You're not allowed to point out that this war is stupid and America can't win this war. Otherwise, you'll be kicked out, okay? So this means that there's really a lack of rigorous debate within the American government, within the American military, within the American elite, which of course will lead to hubris. It will lead to bad decision making. No one will point this out because they're too afraid of pissing off the president and his people. So just shut up, and America will keep on making the same mistakes over and over again, okay? We call this drinking your own Kool-Aid, okay? Okay, they're basically getting high on their own supply is another phrase that we use. All right, money and wealth. You would think, okay, well this is it, man. We just bribe everyone, we just bribe the entire world, and we're good, right? The problem is this. The problem is that if you bribe people, they're not gonna fight for you, right? Because all they want is your money. So you bribe them, but they'll probably take your money and run away. Okay? Or they'll figure out how to get more money out of you by cheating you. So right now, the Americans are gonna fund these militias and ethnic minorities and opposition groups against Iran, okay? Guess what, guys? These guys are hustlers, right? They're not fighting because they want more freedom. They're fighting because they want to rip off the US government. And so this money issue can be a problem in the long term because the people you're bribing, you can't even trust. And they're not motivated to actually win this war for you. They're actually motivated to scam you as much as possible. And they could be actually a problem in the long term because you're putting so much resources into these hustlers. Okay? All right. So what this means is that America has three major problems. Okay? It has three major problems. The first major problem is the lack of political will. And all this is saying is that the American people don't want to fight this war. The American government doesn't even know why they're fighting this war. No one cares. Okay? But for the Iranians, it's a struggle of life and death. Right? If America loses this war, they just go home and forget about it. But if the Iranians lose this war, they all get killed. Or they lose their country, they lose their society. They lose their civilization. They lose identity. They cannot afford to lose this war, okay? So the first major problem that the Americans are facing is they don't have any political will to fight this war, but they're still fighting this war anyway. Okay? The question then, of course, is why? Why is this happening? This is actually the most important question, and it's the most complicated, so we'll save this for later, okay? Second is the idea of logistics and manufacturing. So America is very good at fighting short wars, okay? The reason why is they're advanced, they have the most advanced weaponry, but they have manufacturing issues because, as we know, America shipped all its factories to China. So America doesn't have that many factories. So yes, it has the most advanced weaponry in the world, but this weapon doesn't do any good if you don't have any munitions, right? You don't have any munitions, bombs, bullets. And you need factories for that. And America doesn't really have these factories. Now, I understand that America is trying to upgrade its manufacturing capacity, but it's kind of slow, all right? So maybe 5 years from now, it will have manufacturing capacity to fight this war, but right now it doesn't. So that's another major issue, okay? And then the last issue, of course, is casualties. All right, America, because it doesn't have the political will to fight this war, cannot afford to lose soldiers on the battlefield. All right? So it wants to minimize the death, it wants to minimize battlefield losses. Because if like 1,000, tens of thousands of American soldiers are going home to America dead in coffins, I guarantee you, because of lack of political will, the American people will revolt. You will have protests, you will have a lot of violence in the streets. It'll be like the Vietnam era again. All right? Okay, so yes, I understand that America has technology, propaganda, and money, but as we discussed, these aren't really advantages. And these disadvantages are huge. The lack of political will, the lack of manufacturing, and the lack of America cannot afford to lose that many soldiers in the battlefield. Okay?